There are over 50 golf courses on Cape Cod and the islands, and Jarrod Gingras and his brother have tried to play every single one of them. They created Cape Cod Golf Guys, a community that hosts events and golf tournaments throughout the year and really just brings to light the beauty that is golf on Cape Cod, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard. On the next episode of the Level Par podcast, Jarrod and I had a chance to speak about the community that he's built with his brother, and we also had a chance to speak about Level Par. You started Cape Cod Golf Guys how long ago, and then what was the premise behind the entire thing?
Yeah, it was right before COVID hit, and my brother and I were sitting down Cape Cod at our parents' house in East Dennis, and we're sitting out on the deck, and we're saying, did you know there's 51 courses on the Cape and the islands? And we had grown up going to the Cape our whole lives, but we only found ourselves playing the same courses over and over again, which they were great, Bass River and Bayberry and that kind of thing. But we said, God, there's 51 courses. How could we play them all? Wouldn't it be great to be able to play them all? And my brother's very creative. I'm more the technical, analytical one. And we came up with this idea of what if we could build a brand around this effort to play all 51, and maybe with the hope of maybe someday we could get invited to play some of the private ones, because about half of them are private and they're hard to get on.
Yeah, it's tough in Mass. Like what's the percentage of private clubs to public clubs in Mass?
I don't know about Mass, but down there it's about half and half.
Yeah.
So it was going to be tricky all along, and we had a kind of our white whale was Eastward Ho,
of course.
in Chatham,
yep.
And you can see I'm wearing my Eastward Ho logo today. So
shout out to Eastward Ho.
We've gotten a chance to play there a few times, and it's all worth it.
Yep. So you started this venture. You kind of started to play the public ones, and then venturing out into meeting more people. And now you've got 25,000 followers on Instagram or something like that.
Not quite 25. Yeah. I think about 12,000.
Oh, 12. Okay, cool. So, at the end of the day, you have 12,000 people who are following your content. That must be just kind of a crazy aspect of this entire thing.
Tom, it was almost overnight. It just blew up. I think timing is everything. COVID, everyone was kind of craving golf content during that time. But just the notion of Cape Cod golf, it just resonates with people. I think so many people, grew up going there on their summers, so they have these fond memories of vacationing on the Cape with their family. So it's all positive for them. And everyone has a story about Cape Cod golf in some way, whether it's a yearly tradition or just a one-time thing that they got to do, and it's a highlight of their lives. And so we really just wanted to promote it. This isn't a money maker for us, Cape Cod Golf Guys. We built this brand, but pretty quickly we found, once we started accumulating this audience, we said, what if we could help other people get behind the gates of some of these private courses? That was the kind of tipping point for us to say, oh my gosh, we have this opportunity to open the doors for some other people. And so we started running tournaments, and that's been really fun.
Yeah. So you and your brother started this.
Yes.
It's still just the two of you doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. The two of you get to share this as well too.
100%. And we're in our 40s, and we're 8 years apart, and I can't think of too many brothers who get to. We talk every day about what we're going to post that night, and we go play these courses on a regular basis. And even in the off season, we've started taking a trip, a yearly trip to somewhere south in the winter.
Yeah.
And
I've been following on Instagram, and I'm like, dude, where are you? That's amazing.
Our logo is the seagull. We call him Gulliver, know, and so our yearly trip is Gulliver's Travels. We go find some. So we just got back from South Carolina and down at the Tree Farm and Old Barnwell, and beautiful. We got to play Pebble a few years back.
Nice.
We've been very lucky.
Yeah, that's. Just the fact that this game has taken you places where you probably never thought you would go.
100%.
I think as a golfer, you probably would have experimented and played, but the fact that you can do this in a different aspect, I guess, is such a cool and unique way of doing it.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Cape Cod golf. It's so different from course to course to course. You have these little tiny little par threes that are so public and such a great place to learn to play golf, to these elite, super fancy places that you never think you have a chance to play. So and every one of those is right for someone, and we love them all. So that's been great. But besides the golf, the best thing is the network we've been able to build.
Yeah.
One of the best things I think we did right from the outset was we recognized there's this community of golf people in New England.
Sure.
Whether they're other brands, they make equipment, make clothing, make rangefinders. It doesn't really matter. There's podcasters, content creators.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable community. And, when you and I first met, the first thing I told you is that you got to come to the pilgrimage.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
The pilgrimage is our invite tournament where we invite all these people in the industry in New England to get together, play golf, yes, but also network and just get to know each other.
Sure.
And that's been one of the best treats for us, is to see collaborations happen without us involved. It's like,
So you're growing
So
this
cool.
community and also just kind of like allowing it to do its own thing as well too.
totally.
I mean, so many of my conversations around this podcast have been around the strength of the golf community and what it means to get people together.
Yeah.
And you were a baseball player, and I do feel like there is aspects in other sports where there is that community, but I just feel like golf is a little bit different, where it's to the point where it's like anybody could play. It doesn't really matter the level, but you can connect with people and just have a good time on the golf course.
Totally. And like I said, we've accumulated this group of people that are not just acquaintances anymore. They become good friends, and so I did not expect that to happen when we started this. I thought it was just maybe we get to play a few more golf courses that we wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed to play. And but no, we've made lifelong friends out of this, and that's been the best part of it.
I mean, for guys in our 40s, like it's hard to make friends.
Oh,
it's hard to make friends later in life. I mean, I do feel like you're the single golf player that goes out and plays on a weekday. You're gonna like make nice acquaintances,
Sure,
but you probably never see that person ever again.
Right.
This is an opportunity to kind of really network and branch out and go travel and do these things and go to the Cape and do these Cape things, but also be the voice of Cape Cod golf. Like that's pretty cool. I mean, do you get noticed when you go places?
It's funny. Not a ton, but I've recently been on an airplane traveling for my real job, and someone saw a logo that I had on. I think it was the Cape Cod Golf Guys logo, and said, "Oh, Cape Cod Golf Guys, I follow you guys."
Oh, no way.
I follow those guys. He didn't know it was.
Yeah. You're like, I kind of am Cape Cod. That's
we're
who
kind of us.
Yeah.
And so that's been a really fun. And,
nice.
And it's amazing. Like in that situation, I was invited to go play another course
Oh,
I hadn't
cool.
played. So it's just random.
On the Cape.
Yes.
Really? So what is your favorite course? I'm going to guess it's Eastward Ho. But like,
Eastward Ho is special,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of special, at one end of the spectrum that you put that in that special category, but there's others that fall into that category. But I'll say there's no more fun that you can have on a golf course than playing Royal and Ancient Chappaquiddick links on Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, so I've never done. I lived in the Vineyard for a summer.
Okay,
but I didn't get a chance to play golf just because I was 21 and partying and drinking and like not really having a good having a good time in that perspective. But like I never went and played the golf course. So I've never done Nantucket. I've never done the Vineyard, but I've done a ton of Cape. But like that, tell me more about that course.
Well, Martha's Vineyard in general, they have 5 courses, and they're 5. Just what we were talking about. The 5 could not be more different courses.
Sure.
Everything from the Vineyard Club, which is elite, to Royal Chappie, which is out of a storybook.
Sure,
so Royal Chappie, you have to take the main ferry over to the Vineyard, but then you have to take a second ferry over to Chappaquiddick Island, right? And then from there you drive about 5 or 6 minutes into the woods, and you can't believe you're in where you're supposed to be. And then this golf course just emerges, appears, cut out of the woods. And the guy who runs it now, Brad, his grandfather was the one who, with his friends, cut these holes out of the woods.
Oh, get out of here.
And it's a labor of love for Brad and Chris, who run it now. But every year in the fall, we do a tournament at the Vineyard Club.
Okay.
Called the Opener, which is elite, like I said, and then a tournament at Royal Chappie, which we call Birdfest.
Okay.
And it's a really fun format where we play from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And it's a 9-hole course, and you do the loop as many times as you can between that time, and you record your best score in every hole on each of the 9 holes. So
however many holes you play, you could like accumulate a very good score.
Yeah, so you should be making, the idea is to make as many birdies as possible, right? We've had a few hole-in-ones over the years, and it's bogey max, so it's just, you got to play in order. You can't, so at the end of the day, if you have birdies on 5 holes and you're missing 4, you can't just skip ahead. You have to play it in order. And then we take the top 5-ish in ties and do a real fun playoff, and it's the most fun day on the planet.
That's amazing.
I can't imagine it being more fun. We get pizza delivered out onto the course. There's the beers are flowing between that time, but it's a really special. special day.
Because so you have the 3 tournaments that you kind of like at your staple tournaments for the most part.
Yeah, the pilgrimage we do. The pilgrimage is the invitational,
Sure.
and then the Martha's Vineyard one at the end of the year. But then maybe the biggest one that people should know about is called the Cotter Classic, and it's June every year. It'll be June 1st this year, which is a Monday at Pecasset Golf Club.
Oh, nice.
Another amazing Donald Ross course, big ballpark. Mm-hmm. Super fun time, but that's the one that's open to everyone. The one in the vineyard is open to everyone too, but
a little tough, a little logistically harder to get to.
Of course, but yeah, we like the Pecasset location because it's just over the bridge in Bourne, and that one is like, full field of 110 people. That's how many carts they can handle, and but what a special day! Just we do a really nice tournament. First class tournament, we like to say, high end gifts, but really. And
what
really
you like when it comes to tournaments, like you need to if you're gonna have like a premium style tournament, you have to provide a premium style service. I mean, so many. I think it's what the allure of private clubs are. Is like you go there and like your member guests are going to be well accommodated. Like that your guests who come and see it are going to be like, how do I become a member at this place? Like I think that. You're probably trying to create tournaments that are like that get people in the door.
Right. There's a lot of charity tournaments. There's nothing wrong with charity tournaments, but for our tournaments, we do charge a good amount, a premium, but it's not. Trust me, we're breaking even, but we're not going to be asking for you for money the whole time you're there. So it's just a different experience. You come, enjoy the day, just relax, and we have a big cookout afterwards and award ceremony, and everyone leaves happy if we do it right.
Nice. I'm excited for the pilgrimage because I got the invite this year, and I'm bringing up my buddy of mine, Steve, and we're gonna do what we can. But I heard that there are some pretty solid golfers that come and play in this thing. So
yes, we'll have a mix. So don't worry. It's a good mix of talent. But there are some of the pros at the courses that we've been to. I love it. They love the way we run the tournament, so they come and play.
It probably gives them a chance to just because they're so busy putting tournaments on.
100%.
They're just like, I just want to go.
And it's just early enough in the year that they haven't hit their prime time.
Yeah, they haven't hit the prime spot, but it's also like, I worked in the industry for a tiny bit. So I moved down to Florida, and I worked at TPC Tampa. Sure. A lot of what you read in the book is kind of like my journey and my story.
Yep.
And I remember being like, okay, I'm going to get into the golf industry because I got to play all the time, and I got to be this. And it could be further from the truth when it comes to growing and trying to make your spot in that game, or at least in that career. And so I can see from a pro's perspective, they're like, I just get to let my hair down and chill out and go play some golf and have a good time and not have the pressure of the members who so it's really that's a really nice aspect as well.
We noticed that on the front end in Plymouth and at the end of the year at the vineyard. That's
it's a good way to start the season, end the season.
Totally.
Yep.
It's the best time of year to play golf on the Cape.
Oh, for sure. I think for me, I live in Plymouth, so I'm close enough to the Cape. I grew up in the South Shore, so I didn't do a lot of Cape Cod golfing until my buddy bought a place in South Yarmouth. Yeah, sure. And so we would do the Bayberries. We would do those those.
Well, that's where we grew up. South Yarmouth was where we grew up as kids.
So we started going down there. I have another friend who has a place in Orleans, and his family just kind of took it over. So we've been. If we do a trip, we do like a South Yarmouth Orleans trip, and have a nice little. We'll do one night at the house there, one night at the other house there, and it's just like a special time.
Have you been out to Highland Links?
No.
Way at the end in Truro?
I haven't, no.
So I got to give Highland Links a shout out because it's a public course. Yeah. And it might have been the course that was the inspiration for us starting Cape Cod Golf Guys, because a friend took us out there or convinced us to go out there. And once you get there, you say, oh my gosh, this is not like any other golf that I've ever played before, let alone on the Cape before. And you start to realize golf is so different across the Cape. Sure. And that just really opened our eyes. And I encourage anyone watching this, make the pilgrimage out to it's a long drive out to Truro, but go in the shoulder season. It's probably better. And it's affordable, but it's true links golf on the Cape. And you don't get that.
And that's what Eastward Ho is, right? Eastward Ho is like a links style course?
It is, but I would say the experts, the course architecture geeks of the world would say that Highland Links is the truest expression of links golf in America. So I've even heard, I think Tom Coyne said that.
Really?
In one of his books.
Oh, no, that's super cool.
Pretty cool.
I've been to Ireland a couple times. I'm actually going back to Scotland in June. So we've done 3 trips, and to be able to play links, like true link style golf, that's actually my favorite kind of golf. Because you can spray it, but then you got to be super creative around the greens, and you got to be creative with the winds, and If you don't have a lot of different shots, like you're not going to succeed.
And just the land movement and just playing things lower as opposed, it's very different than Florida, which is just target.
Exactly.
Stick, ball's going to stick.
There's like one of my favorite memories from playing in Ireland was like, I was about 100 yards off the green. My caddy was like, putt it. I'm like, what do you mean putt it? I'm 100 yards out. He goes, I'll show you how to hit it. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. So he's like, yep, that's the swing you want to make. And I almost made it from 100 yards out.
Incredible.
I was like, this is perfect. I don't have to get the ball in the air. We're here because I wrote a book and you got a chance to read it. You are I wanted to get this book to a lot of people who had a story within the game of golf.
Yep.
And I wanted to get it to you guys because you had a great reach, but also like I'm from Massachusetts. It's a natural fit. What was your kind of first, what was your expectations about the book? Because you hear like, oh, I'm going to get a golf book, but like then you kind of get something that's not really a golf book for the most part.
Yeah, golf books. We've gotten a few golf books, but usually they're a very personal, true story of someone's experience in the game. And I know you said there's some basis of truth in yours, but to read a fictional story that was so relevant to the world in general, but also golf in general. I'm nowhere the golfer that Jake Stedman is, but it was still very relevant to me. Just the thought process as you were. I loved how you took it through just a single hole. Just you knew where you were in the book, and you knew you thought you knew was going to happen, but just to play it out and the thought process that was going through his head, was very relevant to any golfer, regardless of your skill level.
Right. And you played baseball. What level did you play baseball at?
I played a little bit in college, fall season, but until I had some serious back problems that should have prevented me from starting playing golf. But
but like you were an athlete, and you're obviously an athlete now with your golf. I think what I wanted to create, from my time as a sports writer, like interviewing athletes over years, like, and we see it all the time. Like we're gonna see it on Sunday at the Masters. Like somebody's gonna show up, somebody's gonna choke. It's just the way it is. And you got to wonder what's going on through their head. And that's the way that I wanted to write it. And it feels good that you kind of could see it from that experience as somebody who's like sitting over 100-yard shot. Maybe you're at the pilgrimage in a couple of weeks, and it's like, what am I trying to do with this shot? And that's what I wanted Jake to kind of take you through as you were going through that story.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, the magic of the book is everything from what's going through people's heads. I think you said it multiple times. We're playing golf, not golf swing. Mm-hmm. We've all had that experience, but then we all have some sort of baggage that is from our real lives, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe it doesn't have to be exactly the same as Jake's, but we all have baggage, and we're all trying to get out on the golf course to escape something. This is magical when we're out on the course, right? It's our escape, but it creeps in. Real life tends to creep in over time, and that happens to every one of us. And I think that's so relevant in today's day and age.
And I think there's such a burnout rate in golf too. I mean, you've got a chance to meet higher end players too, probably through your ventures in Cape Cod golf, and even if it's just the guys who are playing on the MGA level, like they're trying to go play the Mass Open, and like it's a grind.
Oh,
it's a straight up grind to try and continue to do this. It's also a grind to try and build a brand, right? So like every single day you're trying to do something and put yourself out there, and some days it works, some days it doesn't. And but I feel like that individualism of golf is the thing that really can fuck you up in a lot of ways.
It's so true, and it's not even the best players in the world. This is something that I've realized over. I mentioned earlier, I'm very analytical and very technical. So for me, it's like I think in terms of like a project plan where there's a beginning and an end. Mm-hmm. But with golf, there is no end, right? Even the best in the world, you got to keep grinding, or it goes quick, right?
Well, even Rory, I think Rory talked about it this past week. He's like, I thought the pinnacle of my life would be becoming, winning the Masters and, having all four. And I think he just said recently, he's like, I realize I'm not done.
Yeah.
And like, what more could you possibly do in the game of golf? And the fact that, he's still a young guy. He's not just going to walk away. And, he's got this itch to do these things. Yeah. And I feel like we're never going to reach that pinnacle of it. But like, I want to try and break 80 every time I go out. Sure. It's not going to happen every single time. I'm going to shoot 93, 94. But it's one of those things that like, it'll just keep you coming back.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the game. Yeah. So let's kind of bring this home and, where can people go to find out more about you guys, more about your tournaments. And also, I'm going to put this up before your event on Saturday at Vanguard. So let's kind of prop that up as well too.
Cool. So primary channel to follow us is Instagram, Cape Cod Golf Guys. We're also on Facebook at Cape Cod Golf Guys. But we have a website, www.capecodgolfguys.com, where we actually have reviews of all the courses that we've played.
Oh, that's great.
So if you're looking for a little bit of insight before you plunk down that cash to go play somewhere on your vacation, it's a good place to check out. Good resource. Yes, we do the 3 real tournaments, but this weekend we're doing something special in conjunction with the Masters. We're doing an event at Vanguard Golf in Dedham, Massachusetts. Brand new facility. I know you've got a chance to check it out.
It's pretty sweet.
It's unbelievable, right? It's 10 TrackMan bays, this unbelievable chipping and putting area.
Indoor sand bunkers. Like, where else are you going to find that?
Nowhere.
It's amazing.
They have the putt view
the
golf
putt view,
thing.
I mean, like, if you're going to be someplace and you want to get your game better when we got 30 inches of snow on the ground, like that, there's no better place than that. So.
And there's a massive TV, which will be perfect to watch moving day at the Masters, Saturday afternoon, 12 to 4. Come by anytime and
do you need
check it out.
It's free?
It's totally free. Yeah, they're providing food, and they want people to check it out. So we're just gonna come hang out, play some games, run some contests. We'll do long drive close to the pin. We'll have a whole set of bays.
Can you play Augusta on the screens?
I don't think you can on that.
They're pretty anal about
I can play on mine at my house. But the commercial ones there, they're a little bit...
They're kind of like, no, we're not giving away our course for free. So we are still Augusta. Have you ever been to Augusta?
I have.
Yeah, I went in 19. I went to a practice round. The unfortunate thing about when we went is it poured.
Yes.
And so we had 2 rain delays, well, I should say 2 lightning delays. So we got kicked off the course twice, but I did get a chance to walk the entire course.
Yes.
And what a walk that is.
Amazing.
And it was a bummer that I didn't get a chance to see the guys skipping the ball across the water. I do want to go again. It would be great. My ultimate goal as a sports writer was to cover the Masters, and it just never happened. But yeah, let's get your pick for this week too. Like, I know that you said that you got a few things.
I got a few things, but the 2 guys I have my eye on are Cam Young and Matt Fitzpatrick.
I like it.
I think
they're playing great.
They're playing so well, and they're just... Those guys are just so solid, and I think the fact that Cam Young took some time off before this, I think it's a good thing.
He's putting unbelievably, and I wonder if it's like the Ryder Cup effect, like what Scotty had a couple years ago, where like he comes out and he kind of shines in the Ryder Cup, and then carries that over to the next season. Yeah. Like you remember, like Scotty was. He wasn't an unknown, but when they put him up against Rahm, everyone was like, he's not going to touch Rahm, and then he just wipes the floor with him. Yeah. And then next thing you know, like he's now winning multiple majors.
I think Cam Young too. I mean, we're talking about what we were just talking about with Stedman. In your book, I think it's very relevant. His caddy, is one of his best friends from college, right? Yeah. And having that consistent, person on the bag that you trust, that you're friends with.
He's reading greens for him.
And he's reading greens for him. That doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, note to self: if you want to be a good caddy, and maybe you're not like going to be a PGA Tour professional, but you feel like you can help somebody out. Caddying is a great way to get into the game.
Incredible.
And I think that's what I wanted to do in the book too. Is like, you got to build that community around you. You got to build the people around you. You got to build a team around you. Like, how many times do you hear a guy, finish a tournament, they're like, it wasn't just me, it was my team. But yeah, you're the guy swinging the club. However, like, there is so much more that goes into that, and there's so much more that goes into putting on a great tournament with Cape Cod Golf Guys, and I'm excited to be there on May 11th. I think is the pilgrimage.
The pilgrimage, May 11th. Yep.
Yeah,
and the Cotter on June 1st, and
perfect.
Yeah,
we're off and running. Summertime is here, man, and it's like crazy. It's crazy to think about. Like, it doesn't feel like it today, but we'll be out on the golf course swinging. So
yeah, Whitensville's my favorite course off the Cape.
Nice.
So I'm excited for you to see it today. But it's a Donald Ross through and through, like some of our favorite Cape courses.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate the time.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.